A major surprise shook the ARMY community when it was revealed that Jungkook and Taehyung were not present together at the special concert marking Jin's return from military service. Instead of appearing as two longtime friends in a historic moment, they chose, or perhaps were forced, to come on different days. Is this merely a technical coincidence, or a real indication of emotional distance long suspected by the public? This fact immediately ignited debate among fans. From the moment it was announced that Jin would appear at the special event, many anticipated all 7 BTS members would be present together, especially since this moment symbolized reunion after a hiatus caused by military obligations. But as names started appearing one by one, many eyes turned to two figures who, in recent times, were rumored to no longer be as close: Jungkook and Taehyung. Taehyung arrived earlier, sitting with RM and J-Hope in a warm and relaxed atmosphere. Photos from the concert showed smiles and active interactions among them, strengthening the impression of togetherness. However, not a single picture of Taehyung with Jungkook was seen, even during the concert's peak moments. A few hours later, it was revealed that Jungkook had come separately. On a different day, this raised a big question. Why didn't they come together, as they usually did in the past? More than just an absence in a single frame, the difference in their attendance days became a central focus because it occurred amid ongoing speculation that has never been confirmed. Fans quickly linked this moment to previous signals, including the rarity of public interactions between them, changes in communication style, and the diverging paths of their personal projects. Some armies tried to calm the speculation by suggesting that personal schedules or internal agency conditions could be the main reason. However, others saw this as part of a consistent pattern. Since 2022, the relationship between Jungkook and Taehyung has not been as intense or as personal as before. When all BTS members are trying to show solidarity, why are these two the only ones who seem disconnected? Speculation intensified because Jin's concert was seen as one of the most important gathering points for members undergoing military service or individual activities. If even at such a crucial time they chose not to be present together, the public has every right to question, is their relationship truly at a critical point? Various content began appearing on social media, highlighting differences in expressions, posting times, and even fashion styles during their appearances. Some fans pointed out that Jungkook appeared more reserved and left quickly, while Taehyung was more active in interacting and smiling in public. Is this merely an overinterpretation? Or are we witnessing a real relationship transition? Adding to the suspicion was the silence between the two after the event. No posts or statements mention one another, even in a public context that should be neutral and warm. Many fans felt a loss, not only of interactions between two members who were once very close, but also of the friendship narrative that had long been an emotional foundation for the BTS fandom. However, it must be emphasized that all these interpretations are still speculative. The fact that they came at different times is real, but the interpretation remains open to discussion. Is this a reflection of changing relationship dynamics over time, or merely the result of internal logistics and personal preference? What is certain is that the public response to this moment shows just how strong collective emotion is in shaping narratives about member relationships. Many feel disappointed, some feel sad, and not a few are worried. The absence of interaction between Jungkook and Taehyung is not just about missing a single event, but about the loss of a representation of a connection that once seemed so genuine in the eyes of fans. It should be reiterated that this information is based on visual observations, order of appearance, and public reactions spread widely on social media such as Twitter, TikTok, and other online communities. There has been no direct statement from related parties, and it cannot yet be confirmed whether this is part of internal arrangements or a reflection of deeper dynamics. We urge readers not to fall into hasty emotional conclusions. However, it is also important to acknowledge that this phenomenon is not without meaning. In the entertainment world that is so carefully packaged, sometimes small signals hold deeper truths than what is explicitly said. I ask this the beginning of a permanent rift between two friends once dubbed inseparable? Or just an emotional pause that will pass with time? Only they can answer that. For now, the public can only observe and feel the tremor of change that can no longer be denied. Yet amid the massive enthusiasm surrounding this issue, it is important for all of us to return to a reflective and critical stance. Does this event truly reflect emotional distance between Jungkook and Taehyung? Or is it merely one of many internal dynamics being unfairly magnified by social media? In an era where public opinion can form in seconds, we must ask, how well do we truly understand the reality behind a moment captured from one side only? The phenomenon of Jungkook and Taehyung arriving separately does raise big questions, but we must also admit that not everything seen on the surface reflects the full context behind the scenes. Social media, with its lightning speed in spreading information, often simplifies complex narratives into dichotomies, close or distant, together or apart, when in reality, emotional dynamics between individuals, especially under the pressure of the entertainment industry, are hardly ever that simple. Is it possible they truly had scheduling conflicts? It's possible. Or did they deliberately choose not to meet for personal reasons? That too cannot be proven. More important than that is the question we must ask ourselves. Why does the public so quickly draw conclusions based solely on a rival order at an event? We invite readers to ask more deeply. Have we become trapped in a pattern of information consumption that relies too heavily on sensationalism? Could it be that this issue is being allowed to grow unchecked without clarification as part of a media strategy to boost exposure and public engagement? Amid the content explosion on TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube that increasingly blurs the line between fact and interpretation, how can we maintain accuracy and responsibility in evaluating each piece of information? Most of the material used to shape public opinion about the distance between Jungkook and Taehyung comes from video clips, photos, and public moments interpreted from various angles. Much of this information lacks direct confirmation and often only reinforces narratives the audience already believes. This is where the danger lies. Perception can be shaped not by strong evidence, but simply because we want to believe something is happening. Furthermore, is it possible that this narrative is being used to spark wider public discussion, which indirectly strengthens the artist's position or presence in today's media ecosystem? If so, then we must begin to question not just what is happening between Jungkook and Taehyung, but also who benefits from such a narrative. We are not in a position to confirm or deny whether the relationship between the two BTS members is truly under strain. But we do feel responsible to remind that truth does not always appear in the most viral form. Often, truth hides among the noise of opinions, silent from the spotlight, and not as flashy as the sensational headlines that fill our feeds each day. Therefore, we urge readers, whether ARMY or the general public, not just to be passive consumers of information, but to become part of a critically thinking community. Are you sure you've seen the full story? Or have you only seen fragments strategically chosen to provoke your emotions? And more importantly, will we continue to let emotion override logic when judging a situation we do not fully understand? We recognize that this topic is very sensitive and touches the emotional side of many fans. But precisely because of that, a skeptical attitude and awareness of the potential for information manipulation becomes even more important. The information we present here is summarized from various open sources on social media such as TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and other community forums. However, the validity of that data still requires further verification.